My group and I chose to do the cardiovascular system, and we chose to do it on cardiac arrest. The cardiovascular system contains blood vessels, blood, and the heart. The heart structure is composed of muscle and nervous tissue. It is sectioned into four chambers. The top two sections is the atria, and the bottom two are the ventricles. The left side of the heart provides oxygen filled blood to the body. The right side of the heart helps exchange carbon dioxide for more oxygen. The heart contains of arteries that carry blood throughout the body while the veins bring the blood back to the heart. The cardiovascular system has five major functions: oxygen and carbon dioxide transport, nutrient and waste product transport, disease protection and healing, hormone delivery, and body temperature regulation. Oxygen and carbon dioxide transport happens when inhaling oxygen is entered through the lungs and into the bloodstream, and as exhaled, carbon dioxide is released. Nutrient and waste product transport is when food digestion is broken down and composed of different nutrients such as sugars, fats, vitamins, minerals, and protein blocks. Disease and protection and healing happens when white blood cells help protect and fight off bacteria while different chemicals in our body attract cells to heal tissues. Hormone delivery happens when the hormones in our body help control various organs in our body, such as thyroid, testes, ovaries, etc. Body temperature regulation is when the body uses different mechanisms to stabilize its temperature, but the cardiovascular system helps the body sweat to regulate its temperature.
There are four major parts in the circulatory system that help maintain homeostasis: the heart, blood vessels, blood, and the lymphatic system. The heart works as a pump that is made up of cardiac cells that circulates blood and lymph throughout the body. Its arteries take oxygen-rich blood and nutrients to the tissues. At the same time, the veins transport the waste products to other locations, such as the lungs, for elimination. The parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system control the heart rate. Between these systems, the body reacts to its internal and external environments in order to alternate the heart rate and maintain homeostasis. The blood vessels, such as arteries, veins, and the capillaries, are able to dilate and constrict to help the body maintain homeostasis. As sensors in the body notice an increase in core temperature, the vessels will dilate to allow more blood to go through them, which releases the excess heat. Vessels constrict when the temperature goes down, and this causes the blood flow to become restricted and conserve heat. Vessels have baroreceptors that are able to respond to the stretching of the vessel walls due to the blood. The receptors signal to the cardiovascular centers in the brain that regulates blood pressure. Components of blood are plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. A few homeostatic functions of blood are the transport of nutrients and waste, protecting the body against invaders, and using heat to regulate body temperature. The cells and other components of blood are constantly on watch for and responding to invaders, and taking care of injured and infected tissues. Without them, the body would bleed out and/or succumb to infections that could be lethal. The plasma surrounds blood cells and serves as its connective tissue. It includes additional components that are essential for homeostasis that have proteins, glucose, and hormones. Lymph is the excess fluid in the body that circulates throughout the tissues slowly. Since it's part of the lymphatic system, it's intimately tied to the immune system. Lymph is collected into lymph capillaries that are then moved to larger lymph vessels, which later turn into lymph nodes. Lymphocytes gather to clean and filter the lymph and is then returned to the circulation. A couple organs of the lymphatic system is the thymus and spleen. The thymus is where T cells mature that are essential for the adaptive immunity of the body. The spleen takes away old red blood cells from circulation. It acts as a lymph filter and synthesizes antibodies.
Its electrical system malfunctions, it makes it impossible to pump blood to the brain and other vital organs, and this can lead to a quick death if not treated immediately. Cardiac arrest can be caused by arrhythmia or an abnormal heartbeat. The heart can beat too fast and not match the electrical signals in the heart, causing it to stop, or it can beat too slow, which would also result in the heartbeat stopping. Ventricular fibrillation, VFib, causes most sudden cardiac arrests. VFib is a type of arrhythmia. During VFib, the ventricles or the heart's lower chambers don't beat normally. Instead, they quiver very rapidly and irregularly. When this happens, the heart pumps little or no blood to the body. Scarring of the heart tissue, such as scarring, may be the result of a prior heart attack or another cause. A heart that's scarred or enlarged from any cause is prone to develop life-threatening ventricular arrhythmias. The first 6 months after a heart attack are especially a high-risk period due to atherosclerotic heart disease or hardening of the arteries. A thickened heart muscle or cardiomyopathy, damage to the heart muscle, can be the result of high blood pressure, heart valve diseases, or other causes. A diseased heart muscle can make you more prone to sudden cardiac arrest, especially if you have a history of heart failure in your family. Heart medications under certain conditions can also set a stage for arrhythmias that cause sudden cardiac arrest. Even antiarrhythmic drugs used to treat arrhythmias can sometimes produce ventricular arrhythmias, even at normally prescribed doses. This is called the proarrhythmic effect. Significant changes in blood levels of potassium and magnesium from using diuretics, as an example, or blood thinners, can also cause life-threatening arrhythmias and cardiac arrest. Genetic electrical abnormalities can also cause sudden cardiac arrest, often in children and young people. Blood vessel abnormalities in rare cases can also cause sudden cardiac arrest. This is due to adrenaline release during intense physical activity, often acts as a trigger for sudden cardiac arrests when these abnormalities are present. So if an athlete has this abnormality, then they're more likely to experience cardiac arrest. Also, recreational drug use of certain recreational drugs can cause sudden cardiac arrest, even in healthy people. And cardiac arrest is sometimes confused with heart attacks. Both events are a disruption in the homeostasis of the cardiovascular system. However, cardiac arrest is a result of electrical malfunction, while heart attacks are due to a blockage in an artery. So yes, heart attacks can lead to a cardiac arrest because of the way the blockage slows down the heartbeat.
Heart health of the United States versus Europe. Older U.S. adults were twice as likely than older European adults to have heart disease. 16% of U.S. adults had diabetes compared with 11% of older European adults. And 33.1% of older U.S. adults were classified as obese compared with the 17.1% of older European adults. Then with 53% of U.S. adults were active or former smokers compared to the 43% of European adults. The two statistics that jump out to me the most that cause heart disease are the 33.1% of U.S. adults that were classified as obese compared to the 17.1% of European adults, and the 53% of older U.S. adults that were active or former smokers compared with the 43% of older European adults. Some symptoms that are noticed with cardiac arrest are chest pain, chest tightness, chest pressure, shortness of breath, pain, numbness, weakness, or coldness in your legs or arms if the blood vessels in those parts of your body are narrowed. Also, pain in the neck, jaw, throat, upper abdomen, or back. And these symptoms can mean many different things, and you may not be diagnosed with the cardiovascular disease until you have a heart attack, stroke, or heart failure. Some of the common causes of heart disease are arteriosclerosis. Arteriosclerosis occurs when the blood vessels that carry oxygen and nutrients from the heart to the rest of your body becomes thick and stiff, sometimes restricting blood flow to your organs and tissues. Healthy arteries are flexible and elastic, but over time the walls in your arteries can harden, a condition commonly called the hardening of the arteries. Arteriosclerosis is preventable with a well-balanced diet, limiting trans fat and excess fried and junk food. Maintaining a healthy and happy lifestyle through diet and exercise are the key. When it comes to the United States versus Europe, there are a few things that make a difference between the two. That is your active lifestyle, home-cooked meals, social eating habits, and healthy food. We all live here in the USA and have experienced the culture of our food and our lifestyles. We know that lots of time it can be challenging to eat healthy. We live in a busy culture where the quickest food on the go can either be a snack out of a box to a drive through from a greasy fast food place. The summer 2018, I took a month trip to southern Sweden and lived with the family of an exchange student that I had become good friends with. From the time I was driven home from the airport to when I was driven back at the end of my stay, I was in a car less than 3 times. The Swedes and lots of Europeans bike everywhere. I ate out twice. 2 out of every 3 dinners we ate were eaten with company. We were either at a aunt and uncle's house eating with the family or entertaining at the family's house, which I was staying at. I think that eating with other people causes each individual to eat less. The food served at each meal was grilled chicken or fish with lots of vegetables and fresh fruits. I had beef only when I had a burger, which was home cooked. The food came from a reliable source where you know what's in it and how it was cooked. Europeans have a better understanding of what it means to live a healthy lifestyle, avoiding cardiac arrest. On the slide, I have attached a website that we show the average weight for everyone's height. Eating heart healthy foods that will greatly decrease your chances of cardiac arrest. Some foods to keep in mind are fish like salmon or cod and lake trout, nuts such as almonds and walnuts, blueberries. Most berries will be good for your heart, and vegetables such as carrots and broccoli. And lastly, making sure to get enough daily physical activity. Some good activities to incorporate are walking briskly, doing some body weight exercises such as squats, lifting weights, tai chi, or yoga. All of these will better ensure your chances of not getting cardiac arrest. In the case that you are experiencing cardiac arrest or someone you are with is experiencing cardiac arrest, there are some things to be aware of that could help save your life or the life of someone else. First and foremost, always call 911. If you are around a defibrillator, the person will need to get a shock to get their heart's electrical current back on track. If there is no defibrillator around, CPR should be administered until emergency help has arrived. And people who are at high risk of a cardiac arrest should keep an AED on hand or in their house. And in extremely high risk situations, an internal automated defibrillator may be implanted on the heart that will sense when an electrical current is changing and give the heart a shock. And as always, you should take your prescribed medications to help lessen your chances of cardiac arrest. Going over what the cardiovascular system is, how it works, what cardiac arrest is, and how it disrupts the homeostatic mechanism of the cardiovascular system, the differences between a heart attack and cardiac arrest, and how to alleviate the chances of getting cardiac arrest. So now I hope we are all well informed on this disruption and can be aware of the signs in the future.